In a game with so much going on in it like Apex Legends, there are always bound to be things that players just don't know. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down a few things that every Apex player should know. And because you guys are here, it's very clear that you want to get better at Apex. And if that's true, then you need to head over to the GameLeap website. Over there we have top level guides and courses made from players who know what it takes to play at the highest ranks and are sharing that knowledge with you. So if you're looking to get better and climb to Diamond, Masters, or even Predator, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, or I won't push you on the swings. But okay, now that we have that covered, let's hop straight into tip number 1, and that's going to be countering kidnaps. This is something that players will rarely see in a game, but when they do and it's done right, it can end their game very quickly. When someone sees a Wraith trying to kidnap them, they panic, start to run around, and try to dodge the Wraith, but that actually makes it easier for them to end up kidnapping you. The best way to counter this will always be to stand still and let them waste their time running around. Now, there is still a chance that they can get you with the right positioning, but it's very rare and takes a lot of skill to pull off. So for the most part, standing still will always be the go-to method for countering these. Tip number 2 is one that some players just honestly blank about, and it costs them in fights. Everyone knows that the boosted loader allows you to reload faster when on the last 2 bullets of your wingman, but it also loads extra bullets into the gun. And I'm sure that we've all been in those fights where if you just had 1 or 2 extra shots, you would have won. Well, if you have a wingman and a boosted loader, then just shoot into the ground until the last 2 bullets. Then reload, get the extra rounds, and the next time you hop into a fight, you will have those last 2 bullets to help you out and try to down someone. Tip number 3, skynading is one of the best uses for frag grenades in Apex. They are extremely hard to dodge and can open up so many opportunities for players to push and take control of fights. But a lot of players either have their nade blow up in the air too early or completely overthrow them. And if that's you, well, there's one simple fix to this: stop moving when skynading. Your character's movement actually carries over to the grenades and causes them to fly further and higher into the air. And because of that then causes them to miss a lot of the time. By standing still, your movement won't be carrying over to the grenades and you'll be a lot more accurate with them. Tip number 4, there are a ton of seer mains that are running around right now, and rightfully so. He's pretty good in the current state of the game. But with all those seer mains comes a lot of seer ultimates, and there's a lot of people that actually don't understand how to counter his ultimate. Well, the seer ult detects you when you're walking, running, or shooting within the little bubble, but it does not reveal you if you're airborne, such as on an Octane jump pad, standing still, or crouch walking. So if you're fighting a seer and don't want to get detected, use one of these methods to get the jump on them. Tip number 5, climbing in this game is actually pretty crazy with the stuff that you can pull off. A lot of players don't actually know that when you're climbing up a wall, you basically stick to it, kind of like Spider-Man. This then allows you to pull off some crazy rotations or flanks when pushing a team. If there's an opening around a corner or you need to slide a distance along the wall, your character will stick onto the wall as you climb, and that will then allow you to get into those spots if done properly. Now, this does take a little bit of practice to really trust it and understand how it works, so you should hop into the firing range, play around with it a little bit, and just kind of understand it more so that you can then take it in game and be able to pull it off under pressure. Tip number 6, and while you're in the range, you may want to work on your aim a little bit, but sometimes the targets and the dummies standing still aren't enough for you and it can be a little boring. Well, if that's the case, then you may want to turn on the dummies so that they run around and shoot back at you. Well, in order to do this, you'll want to go into the firing range and stand on the hill, then turn around and look back at the spawn doors. You'll want to go into the rightmost door and almost all the way to the back of it. You can then turn around, look up, and there will be a little metal support beam platform type thing up in the ceiling. Swap your character to Pathfinder so that you can then grapple yourself up onto that platform. Stand in the middle of the platform and drop everything in your inventory, the guns, the bullets, everything. Then look down, straight down, swap characters, and if done right, you'll hear sort of a clicking sound. Then all the dummies will be running around and you can mess around with them all you want. Tip number 7, shotguns in Apex are stupidly broken and are almost a must-have in your loadout for games, but a lot of people don't like using them because theirs hit for a lot less damage and end up getting them killed and costing them fights, even if the player was in their crosshair. Well, actually, when hip firing a shotgun in Apex, the pellet spread isn't lined up with the crosshair exactly. The EVA spread is the shape of an 8 and the Peacekeeper is the shape of a star. So for the most part, if you're lining up your shots at the edge of your crosshair, the pellets will either miss or hit for very little damage. The crosshairs do not accurately represent the pellet spread and actually cause you to miss a lot of shots because of that. But hey, at least you know now why it's doing it. Tip number 8, one of the most satisfying things to do in Apex is to stick someone with an arc star. It's almost guaranteed that you'll get the kill on them if you do so. However, a lot of people actually don't know how to be more consistent with their arcs. They just kind of see someone, throw it up in the air, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, then there's still a nade on the ground that they have to deal with. There's actually a way to be more consistent with arc stars. They aren't like bullets. They don't come from the center of your screen. Arc stars actually start from the right hand side and then steer towards the middle. So if you're aiming straight at someone, the course of the nade will change and that will lead you to miss them, even if they're standing still. So you should always be trying to aim slightly to the left of someone to account for the flight path. That will then allow your nades to then hit more consistently and for you to get a lot more kills in fights. Tip number 9, now I'm sure that some players are really sick and tired of fighting Gibraltars. He's been meta since season 3 and it's getting real old downing someone just to have them get bubble rezzed for free. Well, there's actually a really good way to counter a Gibraltar bubble that is pretty much risk free. And hey, it still has to do with arc stars. If you were able to throw an arc star at the top of the bubble between 9.2 and 12 seconds after it's been deployed, the arc star will fall down and hit anyone that was inside the bubble after it disappears. That will then allow you to get a massive amount of damage out on them, potentially downing someone again, or just opening up shots for you. But if you're having trouble keeping track of the time and how long the bubble really has remaining, the beam in the center of the bubble flickers when there's about 5 seconds left. So if you're able to pay attention to that, you'll know exactly how much time is remaining and when you have to throw your arc star. Now, there are a ton of other little hidden details and cool things in the game, and I literally could talk about these kind of things all day. So now I want to pass this off to you guys though. Is there a secret tip that you use that others don't really know about? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's see what kind of tips and tricks people are using. But with all of that being said, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, and you're interested in staying up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.